Deflategate. It's amazing how Watergate has impacted American culture, that we continue to name these scandals after the Watergate scandal back some 42 or 43 years ago in the early 70s. New England Patriots, Indianapolis Colts, AFC Championship Game. So if Tom Brady and Bill Belichick had nothing to do with the footballs being improperly inflated before the game, then this entire video is null and void. They're innocent. Okay, let's assume they're guilty. We know that 11 of 12 footballs were improperly inflated for the game. We know that Indianapolis linebacker DeQuell Jackson intercepted a pass, had that football in his hand all of about 4 or 5 seconds, and instantly knew that there was something wrong with the football. We know that a number of NFL analysts, former players, have handled footballs and been able to instantly tell if a ball's improperly inflated or which one's inflated more than the other. I throw a football these days about every 6 months, and you can toss me 2 footballs, and I know if I can grip one a little bit better because I can squeeze it just a little bit more. Tom Brady went through the process with the equipment manager and how he chooses the football to be inflated and otherwise maintained. He also said that while he goes through that practice every game, so it's that important to him or any other NFL quarterback to get the football just the way they like it within the rules, apparently, that once the game starts, he has no idea how much the ball's inflated. But we have a number of people who handle the ball less than he does who instantly know that the ball was tampered with. And we're talking about a quarterback who has pretty much handled the football more than just about as much or more than any player in the history of the NFL, and is a freak when it comes to attention to details. Another freak when it comes to the attention of details is Bill Belichick. No, I do not believe that Bill Belichick is monitoring and supervising the inflation of the footballs each and every game. He understands and knows the process, and that process has been approved by him, and he has set into order the process of inflating the footballs along with Tom Brady. There's no question about that. Okay, to the point of the game, and if, again, in fact, Brady and Belichick or anyone with their knowledge concerning and affiliated with the New England Patriots tampered with these footballs, the proper penalty. This is an interesting discussion I've had with a number of people in recent days. The Patriots defeated the Colts 45-7. So in no way do I believe that if those footballs were inflated to 20 pounds or deflated to 3 pounds, that it would have affected much or enough the final score to have sent the Colts to the Super Bowl. The Patriots were a superior football team on that day by a lot. It was a pretty close game in the first half at 14-7. The Patriots, again, superior football team by a substantial margin in that game. So the argument I get at times is they didn't need to cheat. That cheating was insignificant. It was just the inflation of a football. It was insignificant. If cheating's insignificant, then why cheat? The whole idea of cheating, the purpose of cheating, is to gain an unfair advantage over an opponent, thinking that you need to do so to either win or ensure a win. Therefore, you're cheating for a reason or for a purpose, especially if the stakes are as high as in an NFL championship game, that you need to go to the place of putting yourself in jeopardy of being caught, fined, punished otherwise. So let's get to the punishment. If the New England Patriots are found to have tampered with the footballs intentionally and with purpose, then I believe the fine would most likely be substantial monetarily, at least for some of us. I don't know for the New England Patriots and Robert Kraft if it's going to be very substantial. And it will also most likely involve draft picks, which some Patriots fans that I've talked to believe would be ridiculous to take away, let's say, a first-round draft pick. I think it's ridiculous because I think it's too weak of a penalty in this respect. the punishment should fit the crime. The punishment for Spygate did not fit the crime. The crime was against the St. Louis Rams in that particular Super Bowl. That's who suffered the transgressions of the New England Patriots in that case. That impacted that game. To what extent, we'll never know. That doesn't matter. To what extent? If you cheat, you should suffer the penalty. In this case, if the New England Patriots are found to be tampering with the footballs and they're taking away draft picks and money, what does that have to do with the AFC Championship game? What does that have to do with the Indianapolis Colts or the integrity of that football game that sent one team to the Super Bowl? Draft picks, money at a later date versus the integrity of a championship game. They're completely unrelated. This sounds ridiculous. It sounds unreasonable because the Patriots won the game 45-7. And in reality, we all know that the Patriots, despite whatever the balls would have been inflated to, would have romped over the Colts. It's pretty obvious, unless it would have been, they would have had balloons maybe that Andrew Luck could throw much better than Tom Brady. The Patriots were the better team. But they cheated. Again, assuming it's found that they intentionally cheated. They cheated. And they cheated in this game, and it was directed at this opponent during this competition, and the integrity of that competition needs to be upheld. Indianapolis Colts, you go play the Seattle Seahawks in the Super Bowl. Yes, I expect to have people go crazy about my opinion on this, but let's separate the score and what we saw in the field and the logic or practicality of what we saw in determining the better team versus the punishment fitting the crime. The Indianapolis Colts were a team that was cheated on. How would they benefit from the Patriots losing a draft pick and being fined money? Well, indirectly, in a small way, just like every other team in the NFL. At a time when Bill Belichick and Tom Brady should be celebrated as possibly making a claim as the greatest coach and greatest quarterback of all time, this is what the debate is leading into the Super Bowl. This is the discussion. This is the topic. This is what surrounds them. But it's their own fault because of Spygate. Brady had nothing to do with that, as far as I know. So I'm directing this at Bill Belichick. And because of this incident. So it's their own fault that they've taken away from their game preparation. They've taken away from their own legacy to a certain extent, depending on your viewpoint. You could dismiss it and say, just like steroids, hey, everybody does it, everybody did it. No. That's not the excuse I give to the policeman that pulls me over when I went 80 and a 65, that everybody does it. I just saw 3 guys fly by me. I don't make that excuse because the law is clearly defined, and even the understanding of the law that you can go about 10 miles over the speed limit is understood, and I even violated that. And that's why I'm sitting there with a policeman talking to me. So that's no excuse that everybody else does it. We don't know that everybody else does it. Some assume that everybody else does it. And even if they do, too bad. Play by the rules or risk being caught and hopefully paying a penalty that, again, fits the crime and the transgression. We see it so much in collegiate football where the punishment doesn't fit the crime. People are targeted that had nothing to do with the crime at the time, but they're the people remaining at the university or in the football program, while the people that, the perpetrators, well, they are gone, so we can't punish them, or we're doing a little bit better these days, the NCAA, in tracking those people down and giving them a punishment, i.e. Jim Tressel and others. But this is a case where the NFL, they've got all the teams and all the personnel and all the players and coaches right there to punish. Unfortunately, innocent people would be punished as well within the New England Patriots organization. Okay, would love to hear what you have to say about this. I'm sure I've got a number of points that have been discussed throughout the week with a number of people that I know concerning Deflategate, New England Patriots, Indianapolis Colts AFC Championship Game. Let's talk about it right here on Mark Rogers TV.